Hi guys, it's Michelle with deceptionBytes. I had done 2 videos today and I thought that I was done and I was on my way to bed, and I suddenly realized that Q had dropped more posts, and so I wanted to address that before I go to bed. It's now 1:41 a.m. These posts were dropped just before 12 midnight, so it would have been on the 18th that he dropped it, and I just want to go over those with you. So that you'll have access to the latest info. And interesting stuff here. Interesting stuff, because it's been a very full news day. Just a lot of stuff happening. So Q says Thursday, January 18th at 21:09. He says, "Are you following the news today?" Well, as a matter of fact, we were following the news today. What a big news day. Yes, and I said that actually in my last 2 videos where I went over Q-related news. It's an extremely busy news day, especially for Q-related stuff. These people are really stupid. Okay, I believe that. This will be the end of the Democratic Party. Wow. Now, you will know if you've been following all these posts that mainly when Q says something, it happens. Like he doesn't, and I know it's a team of people, but I'm just referring to Q as a he because it's easier. Say not one to blow something up into something huge that isn't. So when he says this will be the end of the Democratic Party, maybe he's not meaning it literally, but that's pretty big. So what's he talking about? Well, come to find out, and we'll see this up here, he's talking about the documents about the Russian collusion, which there wasn't any, but the dossier, Fusion GPS, that's what he's talking about. Now, this will be the path forward. So he's telling us this is the path forward. We're going forward from here with public outrage. And I do believe there's going to be public outrage. To jail many so-called untouchables. So this will be the path forward to jail so many untouchables. And I think he could have even said former untouchables, because they are untouchable no more. You, the people, have the power. I think that we saw that yesterday with the trends on Twitter with fake news and so forth. And now the trend on Twitter is release the document. I can't remember now. Release the something. Anyway, you, the people, have the power. Down she goes. And who do you think he's talking about there? Of course, Hillary. Q. Now, the next post goes up and says, or the next post here, what 19 people are currently meeting in a safe room heavily guarded? Now, interestingly enough, it is the rumor that there are people in a room in the DOJ, and that's where POTUS is. And let's see. Okay. A review of classified documents outlining what is described as extensive Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act abuse was made available to all House members Thursday, and the revelations could lead to the removal of senior officials in the FBI and Department of Justice, several sources with knowledge of the document stated. These sources say the report is explosive, stating they would not be surprised if it leads to the end of Robert Mueller's special counsel investigation into President Trump and his associates. So, and I think it's in this, just let me go out here real quick. that it actually says they're in a room, they're reviewing this document. Let me find it. Yeah. There will be no copies of the report handed out to House members. Instead, a copy will be made available for them to read in a secure room in the Capitol. They won't be able to take the report out of the room, but they will know the answers to the questions, which raises another question. When will the public know? Obviously, the more House members know about the dossier investigation, the more likely its classified results are to leak. That might happen at any time. But Republicans can pursue another strategy as well. The House itself can declassify documents under certain conditions. If enough members support declassifying the House Intel report, then the House as a body could move to declassify the information in it, and then the public would know. And that's what everybody's pushing for right now. But it's great that at least they're going to know. They're going to know everything. And that is very good news. Now, I'm going to see if it was in here. That maybe not. One congressman, when he was reading the report, turned to his colleague and said, "This is worse than Watergate." So I think this is big. And I went over some of that news earlier in my 2 videos earlier today, but now Q has posted on it. And hang on here. Let me get back to where I was. So apparently there are 19 people, and they're currently meeting in a safe room, meaning they're heavily guarded. And I would assume that is where they are reading the document, or it's being read to them. They are probably reading it. Why did everyone leave their phones and all other electronic devices in room 239? Well, obviously, they don't want that information out to the public yet until it's declassified. So obviously, they wouldn't be able to take their phones in because they might be able to take a picture of it or record what's being said. That only makes sense that they wouldn't allow anything of that nature in when they're viewing a classified document. What does it take the information going public before why? I'm sorry. I'm really tired and anyway, why does it take the information going public before justice is served? That's a good question. Why is the Democratic Party making every effort to block the release of this FISA-C, and that means classified info? Why do they want this blocked so bad? Well, because a whole lot of them are in a mess of trouble. A whole heap of trouble. And they don't want that getting out. Why did RR plead to Ryan moments ago to prevent the release of this information? Now, hang on. Who this is referring to is Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, or Rosenstein, whatever. Now, it's interesting because last week he was pleading that it not be released. So it doesn't surprise me, and actually there's a news story about it, and I think I may have covered it in one of the stories today, earlier, my videos earlier. But this is, not surprising that he would plead to prevent the release of this information when he's already a week ago pleaded. Where is AS? Now, as near as I can tell, that would be referring to Adam Schiff. So, 1 second here. Oops. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. Okay. Now, he is, in case you don't know, the top Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee, and he was looking into the Russian collusion and all that. So, he's been very, very, very vocal against Trump, and he's the one that kept pushing the narrative that there was Russian collusion with Trump. They were going to find it any day. Yup, it's coming, blah, blah, blah. So where is Adam Schiff? Well, then, in typical Q fashion, he tells us. He has two little parentheses here. Fired, and then he has an X in jailed. Now, I would assume that he is saying that Adam Schiff has been jailed and that 8 have been fired. That's how I would read that. But I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I'll probably be wrong again. Well, I can most assuredly say that I will be wrong again. So if any of you have any other ideas of what that could mean, please, put it in the comments below. But that, as far as I can tell, that's what that means. Because he's got an X next to jailed, and that's generally what you do when you mark something. So I don't know. Is Adam Schiff in jail? Maybe, according to Q. And there's an 8, and then beside that, fired. So I would assume 8 fired and Adam Schiff jailed. Then he says possible suicides. Wow. Something has to be pretty major. I mean pretty major to provoke that. And I pray that that's not the case. My desire is not for anyone to commit suicide. Yes, these people are evil. Some of the things that they've done, their deeds are very evil, but I don't wish them to commit suicide. And the other thing is, that doesn't give us a sense of justice either, because these people need to pay for their crimes. Now, then we've got the two pluses and then / plus TikTok, and I think he's meaning that the other two are coming, and that would be Soros and the not the Rothschilds. Yes, the Rothschilds. So I think that's what that means. I think he's saying, okay, it's only a matter of time before it's the Rothschilds' turn and Soros' turn, and then he ends it with Q. So, and I put up here Fusion GPS and the Obama administration using national security apparatus against a rival campaign is easily the biggest story of our time. Now, the next post, there was 4 posts, and the next post is this evening. It was last night now, because we're into a new day. And he said, fight, fight, fight. Demand public disclosure. And he's meaning of that document, because he's wanting it declassified so that not just the House can read it, but the public can see it, because that is what's going to drive the outrage, and the public will be absolutely outraged. So he's saying demand public disclosure, and I see that's already happening on Twitter. Be loud, be heard. This is just the beginning. 2018 will be glorious. And then lots of exclamation marks. Q. Then the next one, the next post says, the Great Awakening. Q. And of course, the Great Awakening, he's referring to people waking up from living in Fantasyland, the managed reality that most people live in, and it's managed because we're not given what's really happening in the world. It's managed for us. What we hear on the news, what we hear on the radio and the newspapers, it's all managed. It's all managed. And Q calls that Fantasyland because these people are living just like in the movie The Matrix. They were not aware that they were in a computer program, and when they took the red pill, they were suddenly awakened, and they saw reality for what it was, and it was pretty ugly. So, that's what's happening here. and more and more and more people are waking up, and we're all doing our part by educating ourselves and, getting videos out there, getting tweets out there, putting it on Facebook, talking to your friends, whatever it is. So that's it for tonight. I don't have anything else. I think that these are pretty self-explanatory, these posts, but I will say that Q has already said that we need to be aware this week of a false flag. And now I understand why. Because he said that they will desperately need to change the news. Okay? They'll desperately want the news changed. So what better thing to do than a false flag so that everybody's attention goes on that and off of this? And I can see that. I can really see that. So just be aware of your surroundings, be aware of what's going on. Q said that we're safe, but I think that that's just good advice. Now, I'm going back down to here where January 14th, he said, beware of major false flag attempts this week. Know your surroundings. Change of news cycle will be needed. But their ability to attack is limited because ISIS is on life support. Let me see. And then he's talking about Las Vegas here, so I don't know if he's talking about that sort of false flag. I really, really hope not, because the last thing we need is for any more people to die needlessly. And I'm just seeing if there's anything else that who can we trust? Well, he says that we can trust Sessions, Attorney General Sessions. Rats everywhere, evil everywhere, traitors everywhere. The NSA, vital. Raw intel, vital. U.S. military, vital. Safe communications, vital. You, the people, vital. So, and, there's going to be a lot of disinfo out there. There's going to be whatever. So just be aware. There is something really going on. There's just a lot of weird activity happening, and there's a lot of things that people are reporting that just don't seem right. And even the what do you call that, meteor in Michigan, I don't think that was a meteor. So it just a lot of things. There's a lot of things happening. There's a lot of military aircraft in the air. Why? I don't know. They seem to be centered around the borders, not the border with Canada because it's friendly, and not really the border with Mexico because more or less Mexico's friendly. Mexico's not going to nuke the United States, and Canada certainly isn't, because I don't even think we have any nuclear weapons, but I could be wrong about that. Anyway, so that's it for tonight, and I'm sorry I'm probably, wandering around a little because I really am tired. So I'm going to get some sleep, and when I wake up, I'll check the Q News and see what's happening. But be safe. Talk to you later.